Hello, my name is Ellie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a purple look. I have some stuff, I have some plans. Off the bat, eyeshadows. These. I promise this one is purpley. It shines very blue, but it is purpley. So let's do the two multichromes first. This is glazed. It's a glitter multichrome from Cliena. I want this as inner corner. I would like it on the lid, but it's very frosty. It's not quite what is going to work for main lid. This is Tapestry. It's one of the hybrids from Cliena. See, it is, if you let the light hit it right, it is purple. That's for the outer corner. I want the inner half to be Hex, also from Cliena. If you haven't noticed, most of my singles, which is how I'm putting these looks together, are from Cliena Cosmetics. Also from Cliena is Raspberry Fudge to deepen the crease, and something not from Cliena. This I think is MAC. This is Quarry. It's a gray toned purpley thing. I think it'll do a good job of making this potentially more of a grounded color scheme and less of a very aggressive purple, despite my very purple top. And then for blush and highlight, if I can get it open, this is B from the Saharan Blush Volume 2 from Juvia's Place, and then we have Prismatic Amethyst from Becca for highlight. I think we gotta just get into the eyes. I am a bit higher energy today. I got sleepy and I slept 14 hours because I just had nothing else to do and I had a bit of a headache, which is still here, and I don't know what it's from, so we're just gonna run with it. I'm gonna start with Quarry to make my crease, and then we will deepen it up with Raspberry Fudge. I'm also very excited. So I talked about how they had put up a full stage version, nice, fancy, professional recording of Phantom of the Opera as part of a entertainment and fundraising thing they're doing for all the different actors, and I believe it is for the Actors Guild. I'm sure, no, I'm not sure, I don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming that, I used to know, stage people, crew, it's like, I used to know this, that's, when I was doing thespian stuff, I was not an actor, so what was the thing I was doing? I was crew. I would assume that they are involved in similar things that will be helped by the fundraiser, but they put up Love Never Dies, which I have never seen, other than in reference to it being kind of a horrible thing, like a very bastardized sequel, because it doesn't follow the book. The play kind of follows the book. It embellishes it. It kind of centered in more on the romance than the mystery. But in the book, if I remember correctly, Eric dies. He dies. He doesn't run off with what's her face? Ugh, all I can think of is Raoul, and that's not the right one. What's her name? It's not Meg. It's not Madame Giry, because she's also, I don't think she's in the book. At least she's not a named character that is as important as they made her in the musical. She's the lead. Why don't I know her name all of a sudden? Anyway. I've started watching it. It's a lot of fun so far. It's set in Coney Island instead of in France. And it's in a circus. And it's a lot of fun. It's 10 years after Phantom. I'm only part way into it, but I do believe that it follows, what is her name? It's not Roxanne. I can't come up with it off the top of my head, so we're just not dealing with it. Gory is such a nice color. I really like those gray-toned corpsey purples. One Fresco is one. There's one in my Tarte Tartlet palette. They're just, I find them very flattering for myself. But now, to go danger with Raspberry Fudge, which I think is kind of red-brown leaning enough to keep it purple. The issue I had while picking out these colors is that purple is one of those in-between colors that, depending on how red-leaning or blue-leaning it is, they end up quite different. So I'll be looking at two different purples in two different sections of my collection, be like, oh yeah, purple, purple, and I'll put them together, and they don't go. They do not go together. Especially because purple is one of those colors that jumped into common usage a little earlier than stuff like straight up blue and green. Like, purple kind of leaned into the people know how to use and are comfortable with, and then the oranges kind of came over. Gold had already been there, but it was not at the same prevalence as other stuff, so there's a lot more neutrally purples, or purples that are like, you know, the red-brown duochrome that also flashes purple. I'm gonna start with this one, Tapestry, just because I think, no, we're not gonna do that. I was gonna try and apply it with a brush because I know I can put hex on with a brush because it's just a lovely duochrome, but I'm gonna do Tapestry with the finger just for safety. It's such a pretty, pretty shade. I'm trying to rub it into my lash line to make sure it gets all the way down. It kind of gets buffed and sheared out because, as I've learned, these shades wear better with just a very, as light of a layer as you can get away with. Okay, so fun stuff happening there. I'm going to put hex on that inner third and blend it over the middle. And hope that everything works out the way I thought it would. Because Tapestry is leaning much more blue than I was expecting. Yeah, the multichromes are kind of hard for me if I'm trying to match tones because there are similar shades. But how they shift and what different angles have different tones in them is very complicated, and I'm not fancy enough to really have that eye yet. Like, as you can see, Hex is leaning very gold, Tapestry is leaning very blue, which are things that would, in theory, go nicely together. but they're making kind of a stark transition. It's getting there. Okay. Still not quite perfect, but I like it more than I did previously. I'm going to take some of, I think it's glazed, the glitter multichrome, and we're just going to pop that on the inner corner. And hope for easy blending. Oh no, this is not good. It's really hard to find the right angle on your face with something you don't use very much, like your pinky. Kind of tempted to just run a little bit more of glazed. Yeah. X turned out a little too gold, so we'll make it a little bit more purpley. No, yeah, no, that's very hard for me to see and apply at the same time, so the smart thing would be to use my other hand. It doesn't obstruct my view as much. Of course, my left hand is no good. Very much no good. Okay. Yeah, that brought a lot more of the pink to purple in. But as you can see, like, glaze is almost sheer. When it's on the finger, it's almost all reflection, not a lot of base color, which makes it hard to do stuff like use it as a main lid shade unless you're going over something like Hex that has more color. I'm going to pat a little bit of tapestry on just to make sure we don't lose that outer base, and then we'll blend the crease so we can have our fun, very strange, turning out purple look. I think it's pretty. I don't think it's as purple as I was expecting. That blue really just seems to be the main pop out of that color. Oh, I'm very, very tempted right now to tap this bitch on top. But no, we're closing that up and we're moving on so I can't do any dangers to my face. Because if I just keep messing with stuff, it'll get weirder and weirder. I promise. It's not always going to turn out well if I just keep fucking with shit. Lottie? Is that her name? That can't be her name. That doesn't sound right. I remember them talking about little Lottie, but I don't think that's her name. That's her nickname. Yes, my brain is still on what the fuck is the romantic lead's name in Phantom of the Opera. Christine Daae. Ha ha ha! I do know things if I give my brain time enough to get there, and it'll stop. Like, it's been playing a song the entire time, not letting me actually focus enough to think of what the name of the main character is. Doesn't help that I'm watching it. I was watching it while I did my foundation, Love Never Dies, and they just did a song with Meg and ended with Madame Cherie. So that was not where my brain was. It was not on Christine. And, like, they call her name a lot in the musical, so you would think that would still be in, like, main thing, being like, hey, what's that name that they sing as they're doing it? Da-da. Nope. Brain wasn't giving it to me. Doing bronzer. Yeah, I feel like purple can lean either very, like, cold and muted, like I did for the crease, or it can lean very, like, pinky berry. And I won't know until I'm putting them right next to each other whether or not they're clashing purples. Whereas if I pull a bunch of oranges out, yeah, the depth might end up being different than I'm expecting and something like that, but they're not normally clashing shades of orange. But my purples, the purples fight me. Or there are a bunch of shades where I'm like, yeah, these two go together, but it's two mid-toned purples. It's kind of hard to get the depth I'm going for if I don't have a lighter and a darker shade. Of course, it ended up blue anyway, so. Still a pretty look, in my opinion, just didn't realize that one shade was going to flash so blue. In the pan, it looks much more purple. On camera, it's very blue. But it's fine. We're fine. I finished all of Schitt's Creek that was on Netflix, and now I kind of want to go back and rewatch Winona Earp, because that actor who plays Mutt also plays Doc Holliday, and I was like, looks familiar. He looks really familiar, but maybe I'm just doing that thing where I generalize, you know, scruffy cowboy characters into all being the same actor. No, same actor. I was right. I was very proud of myself. Okay, let's go in with B and hope for the best, because I have not used these blushes very much, and I am worried about the opacity, because these are supposed to be very, very opaque, aggressive blushes, because they're made for deeper skin tones than mine. So I'm picking up just a little bit. It's softer than you guys can see, but it is quite pretty. Now these would be really nice for a soft little spring look, which it is springtime. I should be doing soft spring looks. Next week, I can't tell if I want to do pastel multichrome looks or digging out, alternating between like fun new palette that I haven't played with a bunch and like old palette I need to use more. I don't know yet, man. It's a cute blush though. It's finally the right amount of lightness for my skin. I've gotten so used to that darker blush that I'm just like, oh, I should put more on. No. We're good. This is what my skin should actually hold tone-wise and depth-wise. Whenever people are talking about blushes, like, oh yeah, it's really deep and opaque, and I'm like, no, that means it's going to be really hard to use. You want pigmentation, but you want it to be kind of sheer buildable. You want to be able to build up and properly diffuse the edges. So these places come out with these really, really intense blushes, which are cool, but you end up with that issue I have with Exhibit A, that the tiniest touch is all you need. And you don't really want that much pigmentation on all your blushes. And it makes sense for somebody as pale as me to have too much pigmentation on blushes and have to use them more gently, but like, if you have mid to deep tone skin and blushes are way too opaque for you, that's scary. That's too much. I know, watching me silently put on my brows is super interesting. But I want to rewatch Wynonna Earp just because I did really enjoy it. It was a fun show. And I got my mom to watch Mr. Right, which had Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick, and one of the bad guys in Mr. Right is also in Wynonna Earp. So it was just seeing actors and being like, oh, I really should rewatch that as I wait for the next season to come up on Netflix. And I liked it. It was fun. It was quick. And since I've been watching TV while exercising, I need something with a quick enough and engaging enough pace to distract me from all of the pain that comes with exercising. If you're doing it the way I do it, I always try to do it and that it hurts a little, so it always feels like I'm making some type of progress. And Hunters has been good for that so far, but I'm gonna run out of Hunters. There's only, I don't know if it's one season and or if that's the whole limited run already up, because I'm not there yet. But since I'm trying to be exercising for an hour plus, as well as stretching out afterwards, that's more than an episode worth. I'm going to run through pretty quickly, and then if I start trying to add in weights with the cardio and the stretching, that's going to be even longer committed to having TV on, so you start running through your shows pretty quickly when you watch them during your exercise time. I do need to finish up. I was watching Castle Rock a long time ago, and I put off like the last episode or two just because like, no, let's savor it for later, and then it's been long enough that I probably need to rewatch from the beginning. So that's an option. I did like Castle Rock. Okay, we're done fussing with brows. Time to do highlighter, which this is one of the ones that Lacey did swatch that I also had and I kind of forgot about when she did her highlighter. It's very pretty. And I finished up the last purple highlighters in Moonchild, which, like, purple lilac-y prettiness is one of those things I was surprised people didn't get more into. They really liked the blue and they really liked the pink, which I'm guessing must have been easier to formulate than a pretty purple highlighter, which seems ridiculous because purple highlighters are so pretty. They're so pretty. I gotta stop messing with those or I'm gonna make them worse. Now I have a like berry burgundy lip liner and a purple lipstick, and I don't know if they're gonna go together. I might have to swatch and make some decisions. Because this is purple-y, but I don't think it's quite the right purple for the lipstick I have, which is a bit darker. It would be fine if like this was the lip liner I had and this was the lipstick, but I'm gonna swatch them real quick just to see whether or not they're anywhere close to usable together. Oh, that might actually be, oh, I think I can use that. Yay! You will need to be sharpened. But we can do that because I have a pencil sharpener. Yes, that's better. Am I doing lips? I guess we'll just do lips while I have this out. Don't let me forget mascara after this. Oh no. Oh no. It's just getting worse. I'm not good at lining my lips. That's going to have to be a thing I practice at some point because I have lip liners. I need to use them. fuzzy on it. This lipstick has not held up as well as I would have hoped. I think the lip liner would help it if I was better at getting a good line. But it is a great color. I just need to wear it more. I don't wear it very often at all. It's from Urban Decay. It's Spellbound. Like, I like the color, I like the name, I never seem to remember that I have such a dark, fun purple. And it is a little patchy since it's getting old. So, like, the initial application is not normally great, but it tends to get better through reapplication. I think it's one of the few that does not like when I put down a balm underneath, like I always do. I put a lip balm on for my lips to get some moisture while doing the rest of my face. And then, some of the darker colors, it makes them more streaky instead of less. So if I get in a good habit and get better at lining my lips, oh no, I got mascara on my nose. It's right there. Now I have this whole theory that, like, if I got better at lining my lips, I would have a better lipstick wear, and I could use it on some of the things, like my glosses, which sometimes bleed out of the edges and kind of spread and smear into my foundation. And or, since I put the lip balm on and then my foundation, I end up covering up my lip line. If I could then define that with a liner, I might have less of a weird situation where normally it's on the top lip, but my lip gloss will get kind of mixed in with that last little bit of foundation on my lips, and it'll make it look lighter and weirder. Something that's not really a problem throughout the day, like the initial patchiness of this, but is an issue when I take my makeup pictures for Instagram, like right after doing my makeup, so everything's all crisp and nice and I like it still. Which means my lip gloss will look funny in all those, where it's mixed with the leftover foundation on my lips. You don't get as nice of a view as when I have worn the gloss and had it wear off and been reapplied a couple times to get rid of that lightness. So a very long ramble to say I should learn how to use lip products correctly. I also need to do my grab bag lipstick looks again. I liked it. My lipstick has kind of become a more homogenized collection since then. I don't have nearly as many fun looks, but could still be really fun to do some stuff. Okay, we're gonna run over it once more and see if that'll help. I seem to have a lot of issues with how far out I take the sides of the top lip and making sure the 2 points of my Cupid's bow are the same height. But that just is me being bad at applying lipstick, and I need to work on it and get to a point where it's just casually something I do normally. Something that I do often enough that it's just muscle memory into a good lip line. But this is the look. I like it. As you can see with my top, I did kind of assume I was going to go more pastel, but we can do something next week. We can do something fun. I should stop putting my hand with the dangerous dark purple so close to my light purple top. Oh, I think it goes well with my hair. I like it. I think it's cute. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow for my pink look, since I fucked up the red look earlier, and then we will figure out what we're doing for next week. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow, and probably the next day, and the next day. Stay safe. Go watch Love Never Dies. It's gonna be awesome. In my mind, it's gonna be awesome. I'm just very excited for it, because I've heard it's plot-wise not good. The music is good so far. Plot-wise, not good, and I'm very excited for that. Because I like really good stuff, and I also like bad B-movie stuff. And I hear that's the type of plot we have in Love Never Dies. Very excited.